everyone, it's Katie from the Wellington County Museum and Archives, and today it's Friday of our Mystery Museum on your doorstep. So grab your Friday kit and let's get crafting. All right, everyone, now that you have your Friday kit, let's open it up and take a look inside. The things that you should have in your Friday kit is a whole bunch of tissue paper, different colors. You should have a template that has the kite shape on it and some bows. A piece of large construction paper, various colors, and then a couple smaller pieces of construction paper. One should be very long. And then somewhere inside your home, you should find a pencil, a pair of scissors, a glue stick, and Mod Podge. If you do not have Mod Podge, that is okay, because we'll let you know how to make your own Mod Podge. And last but not least, in your kit, you should find some wax paper. So what we are going to be making here today is something very fun and very colorful, but it takes a lot of work. So if you need time to pause the video, rewind, go back, feel free to do so, and let's get cracking at this. So the first thing I want you to get is your wax paper and your Mod Podge with the paintbrush and plate and palette, whatever the Mod Podge is going to be going on to. And then move everything off to the side, and make sure when you do move it off to the side that it's pretty far away, because the Mod Podge can get pretty messy. All right, so you have your big old piece of paper right here. If you do not have Mod Podge, that is okay. All you need to do is grab some regular white glue, Elmer's white glue, and mix 1 cup of white glue with 1/3 cup of water, and you'll get the right consistency to make your own Mod Podge at home. So that's all you have to do is 1 cup of white glue and 1/3 cup of water. Mix it all together and let's get started. So I have a little bit of Mod Podge here on my palette, and I have a sponge specifically for the tissue, or for Mod Podge. What you're going to do is I want you to cover a section of your tissue paper with some Mod Podge or your glue mixture. Do little squares first so that your Mod Podge doesn't really dry out. Grab some of your tissue paper and just sort of place it on. You can overlap them, make them into different shapes if you need to. Just cover up that little piece of glue that you have made thus far. And once you've covered a bunch of it, what I want you to do next is just keep on going, covering another piece of the square. If some of your Mod Podge goes over the tissue paper that you just put on, that's totally fine, because we have to cover it up again anyway to seal it all up. Grab some more tissue paper. And here I want you to just continue on with this pattern. Put as much of the tissue paper on as you like. Some fun patterns, mix up your colors a little bit. Don't be shy to be creative on this. If you're having trouble like I am, trying to separate these little pieces into one single piece, you can always wet your finger or use the glue on your finger to make it sticky. Once you have most of your wax paper all covered up, I want you to use a bunch of your Mod Podge or glue mixture and just go over top of your tissue paper again on the dry side so it sticks really nicely to your wax paper. I want you to cover your entire wax paper. If you don't get these edges, that is totally fine, because we'll have to do some trimming a little bit later on. So just continue on doing that, and once you have finished completely covering your wax paper, we'll get started on our next piece. Okay, so now that you have covered your wax paper with the tissue paper, you've done 1 layer on the bottom of your Mod Podge, tissue paper on, and another layer of Mod Podge on the top to seal it all in. It's going to be wet for a little bit, depending on how much you've used. So I want you to sort of put this off to the side, maybe in a nice sunny spot to help it to dry a little bit faster while we work on the other part of your kite craft. So let's move that off to the side. You don't need your Mod Podge, the palette, or the glue anymore. You can sort of toss that off. What we're going to need next is our template. We're going to need some scissors, and your construction paper should be close by because you'll need that very soon. So depending on how many people are in your household who are making this craft, That will determine how many bows you have to cut out. If it's just you, then you can cut out one bow and leave the rest. But if there's a few of you sitting at the table, you can cut out enough bows so that everyone has at least one. So what I want you to do with your scissors, follow this big thick black line, cut out this diamond kite shape, and then cut out as many bows as you need. Again, if you're just one person, just cut out one bow. Now I have already done this, so you can pause the video if you need to. So once you've cut them out, you should have a nice kite shape in your bow shape. Now you want to bring out that construction paper. Bring out the nice big piece of colorful paper first, because what you're going to need to do next is I want you to grab your pencil and your kite template and your big piece of construction paper, and I want you to trace out your kite shape onto the construction paper here, and you want to do that 2 times. So you should have 2 kite shapes all along your construction paper. So trace that out and cut it out. I have already done mine, so you can pause the video while you do this. Once you've cut out your kites, you should have 2 kite shapes just like this. Try to get them as evenly sized as you possibly can. But if they are a little off, that's okay, because we can do some trimming together. I'll probably have to do a little trimming myself. So pile them on top of each other. And what I want you to do is very carefully fold them in half. Don't make the seam too thick or too strong, because you're going to unfold them in a little bit. We're going to make 2 windows on our kite. So about a few centimeters near the edge of your kite, you're going to cut in like so, maybe a little bit more, and then you're going to come in from this angle right here, and you're going to cut in. So you're kind of making like a triangle shape. If you don't want to freehand it like I just did, grab your pencil, and from the edge you're going to make a nice line. Make sure that the line that you're making has lots of space from the edge of your kite to the folded half, and then again, nice straight line. This can help you if you're having a little bit trouble of making that guide. And then just follow the line you just made. Again, you're making triangle shapes like so. Cut them out, and this will cut them out of both of the kite shapes that you've just made, like so. So now you'll have a diamond shape. Now you don't have to do triangles if you don't want to. If you want to do some fun shapes, you can do it that way too. And hopefully by this point your Mod Podge should be nice and dry, and we can bring that out. If not, that's okay, because we have to do a couple other things to sort of jazz up our kite a little bit. So bring out your very long piece of construction paper, and we're going to make like a string that comes off of the end of your kite. It doesn't have to be long and straight like this. In fact, I would suggest making it look like a fun string going in the wind, so you can sort of make a little snake shape, nice curve shape. Freehand it, or if it makes you feel a little bit better, you can always draw it onto the paper with a pencil. All right, flip it over, and I'm going to go back down. So, almost there. If you prefer to do a zigzag shape, you can also do that. I wanted mine to look like this, but you can make it any shape that you want. So this is going to be the string that hangs off of the end of your kite. My Mod Podge is still kind of wet, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab that little template of the bow that you have, and on those small squares of color, I want you to trace some of the bows onto those pieces of paper. Make as many as will fit onto the construction paper, and then cut those out. So you'll need your pencil as well, and your scissors. So now you can pause the video, trace out some bows, and cut them out. We have already done that here. So I'm going to move all these off to the side. All right. So we have our bows, we have our string, and we have our kite. So we're almost there. What I want you to do, I think we're going to put on our string first. So open up your kite. And what I want you to do, grab a glue stick and put a little bit of glue just at the end here. And we're going to glue on our lovely string, like so. And we can also put our bows on at this time as well. So you can either put the glue on the back of a bow or onto the string, whichever one you prefer. And you can make a lovely pattern if you want, or you can just sort of freehand it like I'm going to do. Do purple, and then I think I'll do a yellow. And then right at the end here, I'm going to put my last bow, and I'll show you. Whoop! And there we go. So we have our string attached to half of our kite. Now it's time to make the lovely colorful Mod Podgey half onto this kite next. So you're going to need your glue stick still. Bring out your wax paper that has your Mod Podge on it. If it's not completely dry, just set it aside and let it dry for a little bit longer. What you're going to do, now your kite is going to be much too small to cover all of this color. That's okay because we are going to trim it. So you're going to sort of make a sandwich. You're going to put a whole bunch of glue on the kite half here, and then we're going to stick our Mod Podge on top of that. All right. If you can use white glue for this, you can use a glue stick. I find the glue stick helps just a little bit better. It's easier to spread. Don't feel shy about how much of the glue stick you're putting on there. We want it to stick nice and tight. Perfect. All right, grab your Mod Podge and just sort of place it on there like so. It's going to completely cover it. That's okay, because we'll trim that extra stuff off. And then we're going to press it down, get it on there nice and tight. It's not coming off. Good. I think what we're going to do next is we're going to trim some of this wax paper off, some of the big pieces, because I can't really see my kite to make our sandwich. So we're going to grab our scissors, and what you can do is flip the entire thing over. And you see that shape right there? What I want you to do is just take your scissors, and I want you to cut sort of all that excess off. You don't need to be completely connected to the shape, because we can always take off all the little extras if need be. All right, let's get that big piece out of here. Kite's starting to fall off a little bit. Other side. So, all right. So we got all that extra stuff off. Get it out of the way. Now we can do the details. So get nice and close to the edge of your kite. Cut all the extra colors off. There we go. Now my Mod Podge is still a little damp, so if you find that, it may not stick as well, but that's okay. We can add a little bit more glue. Now we've gotten to the end and we have this weird shape here. So here, I'm just going to go whoop, underneath. Snip. Perfect. All right, so now we have our lovely shape. So we can actually see the shape of our kite, which is going to help us a lot, because you're going to grab that second kite shape, put a whole bunch of glue on it again. Again, don't be shy about the amount of glue you put on. We want it to stick nice and tight to our shape. Put that off to the side. And we're just gonna cover it up like so. And here we have it. We have a lovely sun catcher. You can stick this on with some tack or some tape onto one of your windows, and the sun will shine through your beautiful tissue paper art and shine through into your room. And that's it, everyone. So now you have a lovely kite sun catcher that you can put on one of the windows in your home to catch that sunlight and show those beautiful colors inside of your kite. Thanks for joining us this week for our Mystery Museum on your doorstep. For future events, just check us out at wellington.ca/museum, and we'll see you next time.